Hi everyone, this is Jamyang. I just wanted to offer an alternative method today to the retreat that Pema has you doing on an annual basis. Whatever Pema has already told you is absolutely right and fine, but if you would prefer to do an alternative version, which is through sky gazing, then these are the instructions for that. So in the Dzogchen Semde tradition, the heart practice of that is sky gazing. So the Dzogchen Semde has 4 seals, or 4 criteria that mark the Dzogchen Semde approach. The first is there is nothing to do. The second, there is nothing to know. The third, there is nowhere to go. And the fourth, there is nothing to gain or retain. So these are instructions, these are both instructions for the practitioner and also a gauge of their practice. So you can see for yourself how much you are dwelling in clinging, aversion, thoughts and feelings by seeing whether these 4 seals are in effect. So when we're doing these sky gazing versions of the contemplation practices, these are the 4 things that we remember. So we do contemplate the pith instructions, we do contemplate the short teachings, whether it be on impermanence, Buddha nature, emptiness, or the other aspects of essential contemplation that we do in our tradition. But we apply in our practice these 4 seals when we actually sit down. So Thogden Amchen taught me that no matter what we're contemplating, we do this, we do the contemplation and then we sit in either shamatha or sky gazing. So, and shamatha is quite a formless shamatha, not focusing heavily on an object or focusing heavily on the breath or doing any manipulation of the thoughts. In the shamatha, in this tradition, it's very open, very relaxed. We try to have as little clinging to an object or an objective as possible. And in sky gazing, it's the same thing. We have no object, we have no objective. We look at the sky, which could be considered an object, but those of you who've done this practice, sky gazing, when you look into the sky, you realize there is nothing to get here. There is nothing to do. We are just gazing at the sky. You really can't go wrong with sky gazing. There's no wrong way to do it. So sky gazing itself is a self-correcting practice, which means you cannot do it wrong. If you're looking at the sky uninterruptedly, the mind will relax and become equal naturally. So all you have to do is be patient. Continue to gaze at the sky and be patient. So when we sit down, we remind ourselves there is nothing to do and nothing to get from this sky gazing practice. We're simply sitting, looking at the sky, and we have no agenda, no object, no wish to attain, no wish to gain. These are samsaric metrics. We are trying to undermine samsara here. And sky gazing, if you do it long enough, you will see that this practice undermines the self completely and brings your mind into a state, or brings your heart into a state of equanimity. So all you have to do is remind yourself when you sit down to sky gaze, there is nothing to do and nothing to gain from this. Okay, your innate perfection, which is inseparable from the Buddha's, will shine through in its own time if you patiently and persistently keep gazing at the sky. So we sit down before, in our sessions, whether we're doing 3 or 4 sessions a day, however many sessions Pema has told you to do, you sit down, you contemplate the pith instruction that is meaningful to you, or you contemplate the very short teaching on Buddha nature or impermanence or emptiness that is meaningful to you, that opens your heart, that fills you with wonder or awe, or which kind of sparks joy in you. So you contemplate the things that open your heart in regards to whatever you're contemplating, whatever impermanence, Buddha nature, emptiness, all of these things. And then you simply sit, whether it be in shamatha or in sky gazing, and you let all of that, you leave the contemplation behind. You don't continue to contemplate it. You don't mull it over. You don't, keep trying to think of it in different ways. You simply sit down. Once you've done your contemplation, you sit down and then you do nothing. So you sit in shamatha, you sit in sky gazing, and you do nothing during your session time. And if we do this patiently and persistently, the contemplation will filter down into your heart. It'll go from a conceptual experience of contemplating and using the mind, and then in the sky gazing, it will filter down into your heart and become part of you, or it will awaken your heart. So no matter what arises in the mind, don't be concerned, don't be worried. Just keep sky gazing, just keep gazing. The mind will throw up potholes, concerns, questions, worries. Am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? There is no wrong. As yet again, sky gazing is a self-correcting practice. You cannot do it wrong. If you look at the sky long enough, the mind will relax and it eventually will become equal. And in that state of equality, the four guiding lights of awareness will arise naturally. Joy, love, compassion, equanimity. This is your true nature. This is your Buddha nature. This is the whole endeavor. Not that we're endeavoring, but the whole endeavor is to rest or relax into your Buddha nature, into your true nature or the natural state. There are many synonyms for this. True nature, Buddha nature, natural state, all of these things are synonyms. They are merely words that are pointing towards an experience, but they do not convey the taste of the experience. The taste of the experience can only be gained or experienced when you are completely relaxing and everything becomes equal. So this sky gazing is the most direct Dzogchen Semde practice there is. And so whatever is going in your mind, the concerns, questions, worries, confusion, doubt, all these things, they'll all resolve themselves naturally by maintaining your gazing practice. So I would recommend not delving deeply into highly theoretical books or texts while you're doing this retreat, because we don't want you don't want to bring up a huge amount of questions in your mind or concerns, or I don't understand this properly. Am I viewing this properly? I don't know enough. I'm confused. We want to kind of avoid that coming up. So we want to just contemplate really meaningful pith instructions or really meaningful short instructions, and then we just sit and gaze and let the practice do its work on us naturally. So yet again, there is really, with these contemplation retreats, they will all take the same form. So whatever you're contemplating, we use the same format. We contemplate for a little while, and then we sit. We contemplate, and then we sit in sky gazing. And outside of the session times, you can watch, teachings on Buddha nature or impermanence or emptiness or whatever, or read, pith instructions, short teachings, but don't get into the heavily scholarly texts, because they tend to bring up more questions than they answer. And in sky gazing, the questions all become answers. The answers all are within our heart nature. So you eventually, after years and years of doing this, realize There is nothing to do. There is nothing to know. There is nowhere to go. And there is nothing to gain or attain. And this is a long process, so don't expect to recognize this or experience this straight away. But in the end, after time and time and time, patience, be humble, don't get overly in your head about it, just do it. Just do the sky gazing. And eventually these 4 seals will become part of your nature. You will go out there and sky gaze or night gaze, and you will just say, okay, there is nothing to do, there is nothing to get from this. And you will know that that's the truth. And then you will gaze and you will just relax, and your heart will relax, and it will open naturally without any effort, without any, prying it open or anything. And then you just rest, you just remain. And over time, this does the work for you. Sky gazing does all the heavy lifting that scholarly traditions try to get from studying and debating and all this stuff. Sky gazing resolves everything itself. So you'll gain confidence in this by doing it. You can't read about sky gazing. It will not give you what sky gazing gives you by doing it. So I hope this helps, and this is an alternative. If you like the way that Pem has already got the retreat sorted out for you, then please do that way. But this is an alternative for people who want to do it with the sky gazing method, which is the Dzogchen Semde method, or it's actually no method, because Dzogchen Semde in its essence is a do nothing approach, so it is no method. But sky gazing is the closest thing we have to a no method approach. And as I said, over the years, you will see that these 4 seals are both an instruction for you and a gauge of your practice. So how much am I still going outwards to get stuff? How much am I still craving to know stuff? How much effort am I still, strong pushing effort, which is based in clinging and hope and fear? How much of that am I still doing? How much am I still wanting something from this? So Togden Amtran would say to me, the only hope that is okay for a practitioner in their life is the hope for liberation. But at some point, you have to let go of that hope as well. So it's good to have the wish to be liberated, and it's fantastic to have the wish to help others in the future to be liberated once you are free and clear. But that hope also must eventually be let go of. So when we sit down to practice sky gazing, we start chipping away at this clinging, wanting, hoping, and also the fear of not getting, the fear that comes when, am I not doing this right? Am I really on the path? Am I really doing this okay? Am I on the right track? Have I gone astray? Is my mind, this sky gazing will resolve all of this just by doing it. So I hope this helps. I hope this gives you a good alternative. So 3 or 4 sessions a day, maybe morning, before lunch, afternoon, and evening. And I'm not sure if you are doing it over the 1 or 2 days, but if you wanted to do it for a whole weekend, the Saturday and Sunday, that'd be great. So when you go to sleep on the Friday night, you're in retreat, you wake up on the Saturday morning, you start you do your sessions, contemplations, and also, I always enjoyed reading biographies of spiritual masters when I was in retreat, or when I'm in retreat, as I am. So you can read those, or watch them on YouTube. But I think that having that quiet time between sessions is also a really good thing. Filling up the time between sessions can be a bit counterproductive in this context of, if you're doing it as a sky gazing practice, then having time and space and silence and stillness is a really fantastic thing between sessions. So I hope this helps. Obviously, as I said before, If you like the way Pema's already structured it, then go with that. But for some people, I've found that they are enjoying using the sky gazing as the approach, and it helps them to relax and relax and relax, which is what we're really trying to get to happen here. Because in absolute relaxation, everything becomes equal naturally, and in that state of equality, the 4 guiding lights of awareness are there naturally: joy, love, compassion, equanimity. These are the guiding lights. These are the things that show you are on the right track. So you do not need to worry or have questions about going astray. If you are resting in sky gazing and these 4 guiding lights of awareness are shining forth, then it's all good. So I hope that helps. I love you all. I hope your retreats go really well. Not that we're meant to be thinking about whether they're good or not. There is no good or bad in sky gazing. There is no good or bad in our practice. We're just doing it and then letting the heart be as it is. All right. I love you all. Bye.